Hey, I'm Karamo.
Hey, and I'm Bobby Berk.
And we're entering the New Yorker cartoon-caption contest. We're gonna fail.
No, Karamo. If anybody, you should be building us up. That's what you do. We're gonna do great.
Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it.
You are funny. You are beautiful.
You are smart. Can we start?
He's looking at that night in the mirror.
Night in the mirror.
Or it's his one-night stand.
There we go! See?
See?
Bobby's funny. So there is a gentleman that looks like 10 and 15 to 20 years.
See, you're funny.
That's called shade. No, but it doesn't look like 10.
He's looking at his one-night stand in the mirror going, that was a mistake.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It looks like an episode of Queer Eye. Can we get Antoni over here? We miscast this.
No,
we miscast this.
No,
That is excellent.
Yeah, we're always rolling.
If this was Karamo, he would say something about like taking your armor down.
You know, I actually think this is a Taylor from Balmain, and he's like, Antoni, we found your next Emmy look.
Nailed it. That was a really weird fist bump situation, but it worked.
Yeah.
Never said I had good handwriting either.
Nice.
The period goes inside the quote.
Antoni, I believe we just found your next Emmy look.
Yeah. So we have a lady or a man.
I think it's a man, mate. Well, I don't know.
So we have a person sitting in a chair who is bewildered at best.
This is actually a historical depiction of the barbershop that Jonathan used to go to as a child. And he was so rambunctious that he just popped right out of the ceiling.
He's kind of like, he looks a little angry because he's frowning.
Instead of like Dennis the Menace, instead of Dennis, it's Johnny.
I told you not to go too high. Wait, what's the expression about the higher the hair, the closer to God? Frank, that's not what I meant by the higher the hair, the closer to God.
When I said
I think that works. I just got excited by it. It's cute.
Okay.
It's cute.
We can go with that.
My dad would laugh at that. I feel like my handwriting's getting better for this one. The higher the hair.
Frank, when I said the higher the hair, the closer to Jesus, I did not mean it literally.
Ha! Now that's comedy. So we have like an old New York bar with like the brass details. Oh.
Yeah. Someone's been watching too much Queer Eye?
I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about Jonathan that just feels really relatable. That's cute.
Oh, that's your caption.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he's speaking to her.
I can't quite put my finger on it.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's just something about that Jonathan Van Ness I find extremely relatable.
Yeah. Do these actually go in the New Yorker when we're done?
Probably not. No. Sorry I write so slowly. Henny.
I can't quite put my finger on it, Henny, but there's just something about that Jonathan Van Ness that I find soups relatable.
And it's funny because he's wearing what are traditionally ladies' shoes, but he doesn't even realize it.
It's stupid. Tan France's ideal definition of a boundary in a marriage.
Oh, but should we go Trumpian with the wall?
You voted for him. Here's your wall.
Honey, I've spent the day watching Fox News and I've got a brilliant idea. Something like that.
That's cute. All they talk about is a fucking wall. So they're like, oh, I'll just build a wall in the house too.
Look at her. She's wearing heels. She's coming maybe from work. She's got the groceries. And then you have this idiotic toxic masculinity going on here who's watching garbage television. Honey, I discovered Fox News today. Boom!
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's succinct. It's tight. It's not a lot to write. You write like someone I know.
You know me.
Yeah. Honey, I discovered Fox News today, and I got so many good ideas.
I don't know what it is about that Jonathan Van Ness, but there's something about him I just find so relatable.
Okay, so we have a gentleman who is also on the slide, and he's assumingly giving a TED Talk, but it is also the 90s, because this is the first Macintosh computer I ever used with the Turtle program. Do you remember the Turtle program?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have what I assume to be a TED Talk going on. His name might be Ted, we don't know. And he's pointing to himself and he's saying something. What is he saying?
He is giving an example of a power pose that you can do at work before giving a presentation.
Something about body positivity. And frankly, I've never looked better. Just that, ... And frankly, I've never looked better. Oh my gosh, and we're using Frank again. Frankly,
my dear.
Read it, Bobbers.
And frankly, I've never looked so good.
Or better. Same.
And frankly, I've never looked better.
This isn't what I meant by role-playing, but okay, let's proceed.
When I recommended role-playing, this isn't what I had in mind.
We have a couple who is presumably at a marriage counselor's office.
They've been having some little problems.
So he's giving advice and he's speaking to a couple. And he's got a little comment to make, and we're going to write it down right now. Is role-play a compound word or is it 2 words?
It's role and play, so you'd put a hyphen.
This will make
It's neither role or play,
on
it's
certain
role-play.
porno websites and certain sections that you can go to, there is a role-play section and there is a hyphen, and I just remembered it. From the one time I ever looked at porn.
That one time you went to Tumblr before they changed it?
Ta-da!
When I suggested roleplay, this is not what I had in mind.
This wasn't what I had in mind. Bobby, look at the line before you read it.
When I suggested roleplay, this wasn't what I had in mind. Yeah. This was
Bobby,
fun.
how did you feel about captioning cartoons?
I think this was fun, but we should keep it to the professionals.
I felt really intimidated because I've been reading these captions since I was a kid, because we've always had the New Yorker, and a lot of them are very clever and witty. And do I feel like we were successful? And a lot of them probably not, but some of them were cute.
At the end of the day, it's about how hard you tried. And
Yeah.
we tried.
We did, we committed. Commitment, that's got to stand for something, right? Commit.